Alright, guys. Hello, everyone. It is Monday, starting a new week of trading. New full week of trading. Very exciting. But what's not so exciting is that I finished down 466 today. Third red day in a row. You know, I've only had 3 red days in a row ever once before, actually. I looked at this. And it was actually 3 days in a row. It bled from the end of November into, I think, the first day of December. That's the only stretch of 3 red days in a row I've ever had before. I can't help but notice that a 4th day in a row would be a new streak of longest streak of red days. I hope tomorrow that I can be green. You know, today I would say that I don't know. I think I was a little bit eager today to be green because I was red the last 2 days, and so I don't know. All in all, I think maybe I did jump at some opportunities that I shouldn't have. But in general, I'm not really too upset with the way that I traded today. There were some redeeming things, but as usual, you know, we'll get into it here in a second. I do want to make sure this recap is not too long. I want to keep this short. Of course, it is a red recap, so who really wants to stick around for that? No, I don't know. Anyway, down 466. So again, limiting the damage a little bit in terms of not blowing up, like not, you know, $1,000 loss, which is something I would definitely be trying to avoid. So let's talk about this. What was the first trade I took? Actually, RIOT was the first trade that I took. And again, I'm not upset myself for this trade. I think this was fine. But this trade in particular demonstrates why I don't typically go for breakout trades. Yeah, so this was, well, my trade's not showing up here. There we go. All right, so this was a pretty good setup here on this trade, and the market was, I forget what the market was doing. I don't remember exactly what the market was doing, but I took this trade. It must have been decently strong. But this is a good setup pattern here, looking very bullish, looking very good. But unfortunately, it just didn't pan out, and I didn't really get out of my shares quick enough on this. Even though this candle finished as a very bearish candle with this heavy wick to the top side. So as this was coming up, that's when I jumped in, and I kind of hit the, I don't know if I jumped in at the ask or not, but 66.40, 66.50 really. So I got in like right here, kind of as this was coming up here. And it did get a nice break up to over $67. You see this wick, the high is 67.12. What's the high here? 67.12. So to the penny, hits the high of this candle here, which was the initial morning high, and then fails, rejects, and turns as a bearish candle. What I should have done was just get out of the shares and say, hey, it didn't work, I'm out. I'm not sure why I didn't do that. I stuck with it a little bit, and I wanted to give it maybe another chance to come back up. I think that's reaching. I think it obviously rejected and came down. Again, I probably took too many shares here too, because if I had taken only 100 shares, I might have been comfortable enough holding with VWAP as my stop. And you can see here, it didn't even reach VWAP, came back up and through that 67 level briefly. I probably wouldn't have gotten out too much here because I would have been looking for more, and we never really got that. But anyway, not a great trade. The setup was good, but I think my management of this position was that I got out really quick and I didn't give it enough room, and I took too much size, and I lost 180 bucks on it right off the beginning of the day. So that was definitely a bummer. All right, so that was that trade. Let's keep going here. GME, that was the next one. You guys know I trade GameStop all the time. We've been over this, it's, you know, this one could have been much worse, but I usually say to myself, and I said this repeatedly, that if GameStop is, and it was up on the day, it was actually gapping up, I believe. Yeah, it was. So it was actually gapping up on the day, and I usually look at that as a sign of, well, obviously it's a sign of strength, and the fact that GameStop, I always say this, if GameStop's not breaking down, which looks like this, if it's not breaking down, then it has a good chance to squeeze, and the first step of that is a move over VWAP. So I looked for that here. We got that push over view up I was looking for, and then quick rejection. And I was like, well, I'm in for 50 shares here. It's very borderline because while it's a decent sized position on GameStop at these levels, you can see the range is rather tight. So there's only a $10 range here from the low to the high, really, which is rather small for GameStop. So anyway, with that kind of small range, I was thinking, well, I suppose I should probably hold this where my stop should really be, which is toward those lows. And you can see it kind of came in, acted as support, and then we got a nice run here through VWAP, and I was like, yes, okay, this is it. We need to get over these highs. The target is, 282, 283. Oh man, no, we failed here, and then back down to through VWAP, looking for it to come up again, but just never happened. And as we broke down here and we were starting to looking like coming through those lows, that's when I had to get rid of the position. So I took a $188 loss on it. I think I did the right thing on this one. I definitely couldn't have gone wrong taking some profit here. Up here at this point, toward this high, I was probably up 150 bucks on the trade, or something like that. And that would have put me basically break even on the day if I had gotten out everything right there. Of course, that's an ideal. But too many times I've shown you guys trades on my green days where I enter for 50 shares at a great entry and get out, 2/5, 3/5 of the position way too quickly. So with that in the back of my mind, I was kind of like, I really want to hold on to these shares and give this one a chance. But I think the sign was there to take some profit because the volume is low. The price action, just watching it, I could tell it wasn't decisive, and I'm not surprised that we got some sort of move like this here. Now I will mention too, as this halted right here, going down right here, and while I noticed that, I was like, well, okay, obviously the dip trade opportunity is on my mind because every time GameStop seems to capitulate this to the downside, which it did, you can see on the 5-day chart right here, it did it again and had this terrific bounce, retraced over 50% of the move to the downside back up. So obviously I'm looking for that again here. And as this was halted here, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, well, what is the scenario in which I would stab at this in the resumption here? And I had sort of there's two ways to think about it. There's two kind of scenarios that I thought could play out. And so here's how you kind of have to ask yourself if you're worried. You see it halting going down, and you're like, well, how do I can't just buy at the resumption, because what if it just keeps going lower and it does more of what it did this day here, where it came all the way down to 171? Who knows how low it could go, et cetera, et cetera. You might be scared buying out of a halt. So here's what you need to look for is, number one, you need to notice that the volume is so much lower coming into this halt than it was, say, on this day. Much higher volume in these halts, and it halted several times going down. So when you have these halts going, several times going down, the volume was already good on it, and it had this move up 350. The volume was already really good on it, and it halts going down here multiple times. I'm not sure exactly all where they were, but the point is the volume was much higher. And so when you see this halt going down, this first halt going down, you're like probably asking yourself like, well, the other day it halted many times going down. So what if this is the first of many halts going down? I don't really necessarily want to be a buyer. And so my response to that is like basically the volume thing. You can see how much lower this volume is to really keep pushing it down, so kind of parabolic to the downside. That is a real sign of strength, and strength comes with momentum, and strength comes with volume. We don't have that here. We don't have volume here. So that was my first clue as to like, okay, coming out of this halt, I think there's a good chance we get the bounce here and now, just because I think that this was an irrational sell-off on low volume. I feel like we're going to get that snap back to reality, which I talk about a lot, and so that's what I was looking for here. Unfortunately, when it resumed, and I saw, here's the second thing, second bit of context is you want to watch where it resumes, right? Is it resuming? How much lower is it going to resume? Is it going to resume higher? Well, let's see. Let's look at the close of this candle was 226.19. The open of this candle was 226.19. It opened at the exact penny. So when it opens flat, when it halts going down and then opens flat, that's already bullish because the market makers decided that they weren't going to open the trading lower, and there wasn't enough sell imbalance to make that happen. So opening high, or not opening higher, but opening flat, that was my first sign. So when I saw it open flat, I immediately punched the buy button, but unfortunately I instinctively, because I always buy on the bid for like 99% of my trades, I'm buying on the bid because I'm not like a breakout trader necessarily. Even if I'm gonna, I'll either buy the bid or buy the ask. I don't really do market orders. But anyway, this might have been a good spot where I thought after the fact it might have been a good spot to do a market order on this resumption, because it'd be so difficult to grab it. But when it resumed, and I saw it resumed at level here at the same price, at the same, how do you say this? It resumed flat is what I mean to say. It resumed flat, and so I hit join the bid on my hotkey, and of course I didn't get filled. It just ran without me, and then I was telling myself, well, I can't get in now. It's just I missed the spot. I didn't get the price I wanted, so I'm just gonna miss the trade. But anyway, it would have been a good trade if I had gotten filled, and I feel a little bit vindicated that I hit the buy button there, and it really would have been nice, but oh well. So anyway, that's GameStop. Let's move on. Baba was the next one, I believe. So on this one, I tried this one a couple times. This one's really frustrating because this is probably, I don't know, this one just sucks because it's low volume today, but the setups were good on it. I mean, some pretty clean action on this, but I don't know, probably shouldn't have traded it. But here I tried it long, as I noticed some bottoming happening here, maybe, and looking for a long position coming up through VWAP here. Decent setup, kind of not making a lower bottom here, and looking like it could be strong if the market was strong. But unfortunately, the market was not strong, and the market pulled this thing down. And of course, it's down on the day. It was actually gapping down. So anyway, this one didn't work out. I had to cut the position, watching it go against me, and it felt like every trade I was going to take today was just going to go the opposite direction. Here, I saw the market was continuing lower and looking weak, and so I took a short position here as looking for kind of that decisive new low on it, and we did get I did get a nice move on this from 226 down to 226, or sorry, short at 227, and trying to have this one come through 226, and it came down to 226.25, and then just moved against me, and I held on to this one for a while, looking for it to come back down, but that didn't happen. I stopped out as we broke over this flat top at 227.50. I stopped out. It came back down momentarily, but as you can see, it was pretty strong for the rest of the day. So anyway, long when I should have been short, and short when I should have been long, and that's just how it felt today. And this actually, when I took the short position, I thought, this is the first short position I think. I don't think, like, I used to go short a lot. I used to, short stocks a lot. But now I noticed recently I really haven't done that very much, and this was kind of maybe, I think, the first short position I've taken in quite a while. So it was an interesting thing. But anyway, I only got 25 shares out down here, and it just ripped against me, and yeah, too bad. That was a bummer. And then my last trade was probably my best trade. Again, I just didn't take the profits when they were there, and before I knew it, they disappeared. This, looking at AMC, which has tremendous relative strength today, especially relative to GameStop, which usually the two kind of move together. But GameStop slumped big time today, and AMC really had a terrific day. So when I was watching it right here, I was like, okay, the setup is good right now. Right here, it looks very bullish. Nice consolidation and kind of this stair-stepping pattern to the upside, looking for volume to come in. Volume's really low on this pullback right now. The volume's low. I want to take advantage of that. So I was in for 500 shares because I was kind of like, okay, where's my stop going to be? And I'm only going to take this trade. I'm going to set my stop. I'm going to walk away, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Well, that didn't end up really happening. But I said, if we don't get that immediate break higher, then the stop is probably going to come into play. But my stop was 13.79 below this level here. So if we came below there, I would stop out, and 500 shares, it's a 20-cent loss. It's a $100 loss. So I said, okay, with that loss, I'll be down like almost 600 on the day, and then I would walk away. That'd be it. I'd have to throw in the towel then. But no, it was nice, and it came all the way up here to 1450, and at this point, 1450, I was up on this trade, I think around 250 bucks on this trade. Sorry, the sun is coming in right here. I was up like 250 bucks on this trade at one point as it was up here at 1450. I took a small sliver off of 50 shares, a tenth of the position, and then we broke down here, looking for it to come back up, and we broke down again. Here it came down below my break-even price, bounced back up, and then as we came down again, I said, okay, I'm stopping out at break-even on the rest of my shares. At least I'll be green on the stock, and I'm just gonna be done for today, and whatever. And then 2 minutes later, boom, right back up to 1420. I would have been up over 100 bucks on this trade if I'd held till there. This turned out to be kind of a double bottom, and then some consolidation later, and a move back up to 1430 here. It did end up breaking down and kind of choppy for the rest of the day, but anyway, good entry, bad exit. So we've seen that multiple times today with RIOT, with AMC, with GameStop. I'm not good right now at stopping out and exiting in the right place, and so that's something I need to focus on. Anyway, yeah, frustrating. I want to tell myself I should have taken more profits here, but why didn't I? Well, we just came up and made a new high, and so as we broke above this high here, with AMC's short interest and its strength today, and its incredible volume, and when volume starts to come into this thing, I think, well, traders are going to be looking at it and watching it. I was really looking and enthusiastic about a move up to $15, $15.50, $16. I mean, when things start to squeeze and go, I really thought this one looked good for an afternoon move and really to have a fantastic afternoon, but we just didn't get that. And so that was my bias on it. Of course, a bias is just a bias. I'm not saying that I was like, it needs to move to $16 or else I'm not taking any profit. That's not what I was saying. It's just more like I want to take profits along the way, but my back of mind target is kind of that move even higher. And we just didn't get that. This was kind of a lousy new high, and it just came back into the range, and we'll see what it does tomorrow. It definitely still looks good for tomorrow on the daily chart and everything like that. But unfortunately, the trade didn't work out, and so that's why I feel like I didn't trade horribly today. AMC very well could have had that move to $15, $16. It could have happened, but it also can happen that doesn't happen, and something like this happens, and at least I was green on the trade. Because if I had held up here to 1430, I probably would have been looking for that move back up toward the high, and maybe I would have gotten stuck in this capitulation down here, but anyway. Oh well, so down 466 today. I would say all things considered, and I'll show you guys this here too. So this is what I mean when I say three red days in a row right now. So 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I mean, it sucks, but so far this month, I have not had a blow up day. That could either mean one of two things. The blow up day is coming soon, or I'm actually finally kind of doing a better job avoiding that. I don't know. But here's kind of what one of those days looks like, and I actually on this day felt like I traded pretty well. Yeah, I had big losses on it, but that's only because I kept trying it over and over and over and over again, and it wasn't working. And on days like today, I feel kind of similar, where like I'm trying stocks multiple times again and again and again, and just not getting those moves. And yeah, I think days like today are days where it's like repeatedly stocks aren't moving the way I want them to, and then even when they are moving when I want them to, and like in the case of AMC, I'm just not getting my profits out. They're not hitting my target, and then they fade, and then I'm like, well, I want to hold them. I want them to get back up to that target, and they don't get there. Oh well. So anyway, down 466 today on this Monday. So it would be awesome to just turn Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just green, 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 green. That would be obviously ideal. But anyway, starting a new drawdown here, guys. Here it comes. So coming into today, down 686 from the high, and so after today that'll be down over 1,000. So we'll be somewhere right around down here. So not too bad. I mean, I just recovered from nearly a 5,000 drawdown. So anyway, yeah. In the grand scheme of things, we're still looking good. But yeah, I need to start turning things around soon, and I will that will begin tomorrow, hopefully. So anyway, that was my recap for today, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, please. I love doing these recaps, but it's even better when people confirm that the recaps are helpful by hitting the like button, and subscribe, because I do these recaps every single day, and they are at 5:40 p.m. Eastern time every single day, including tomorrow. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.